Welcome back all of you. We are moving on to the next topic, that is change in demand versus change in quantity demanded. The difference between change in quantity demanded and change in demand. So, what is the difference between change in quantity demanded and change in demand? We can explain the difference with the help of a table, and after that I will show the diagrammatic explanation of that. First we will move on to the table. This is change in quantity demanded and this is change in demand. Now what is the basic difference between that? First we will read out what is written in the table, and based on the diagram I will be explaining the points written in the table. First point with regard to that is movement along the demand curve. In change in quantity demanded, there is movement along the demand curve. But whereas in change in demand, it is shift in the demand curve. Next, change in quantity demanded, we can find the two actions as expansion and contraction. But here in change in demand, the two actions are increase and decrease in the demand. In change in quantity demanded, price changes, other factors remains to be constant. Which are the other factors? Price of related goods, taste and preference, income, season, all those things. But in change in demand, price remains constant, other factors will change. Just opposite of what is happening in change in quantity demanded. In change in quantity demanded, the two movements are upward demand and downward movement. But whereas in change in demand, the two movements are rightward and leftward shift. So these are the basic difference between change in quantity demanded and change in demand. Now let us see the points one by one with the help of a diagram. Now this is the diagram which I have drawn for change in quantity demanded, and this is the diagram which I have drawn for change in the demand. Now in change in the quantity demanded, price will be changing, other factors will remain constant. Now make a note of it. I have already written in change in quantity demanded. So change in quantity demanded is the first one we are going to complete. Their price will change, other things remains constant. With the help of that statement, I have drawn the diagram here where quantity is marked on the x-axis and price is marked on the y-axis. Here price has changed. I have given different price levels. The price levels are 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And based on that, consumer is demanding different quantities of commodities. So point number 3 is the one which we are going to start with. Price changes, other factors remaining to be constant. Price change is represented in the diagram by 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. At price 6, consumer is demanding 1 kilogram. When the price has come down, consumer is demanding more, 2 kilograms. When the price has come down from 5 to 4, consumer is demanding 3 kilograms. When price has come down from 4 to 3, consumer is demanding 4 kilograms. When price has come down to 2, consumer is demanding 5 kilograms. When the price has come down to 1, consumer is demanding 6 kilograms. So when the price has come down, quantity demanded is increasing, price is changing. So that is applied here. Now we will move on to the next one. Movement along the demand curve is observed in change in quantity demanded. To explain this particular point, let us move on to the diagram. Here let us take this particular point 3, price 3 and quantity 4 as the point of study. Let us take these two, quantity 4 and price 3 as the point of study. Now to the left of this price 3, that means here to this part, we can find the price is going on increasing, isn't it? 3 to 4, 4 to 5, 5 to 6. As a result, what is happening to the quantity? Just below that you can find this is 4 kilograms respectively to the price 3. Below that what is happening? The quantity is decreasing, going on decreasing. What is the reason behind that? Because the price is going up. So as the quantity is decreasing, quantity is decreasing, we can mark from this area to this area as contraction. Now, after point 3, price 3 is the reference of study, isn't it? After the price 3, what is happening to the price? Price is falling to 2 and 1. So, what is happening after quantity 4? As price has decreased, quantity has increased from 4 to 5, 5 to 6. So, after this part, quantity has increased due to a fall in the price from 3 to 1. Quantity has increased from 4 to 6 due to a fall in the price from 3 to 1. So, from this point to this side, you can write it as expansion. So, here the two actions, expansion and contraction, are taking place along the same demand curve. Movement is taking place, movement arrow to this side and arrow to that side. These two movements are taking place along the same demand curve. That is what is written here. Movement along the same demand curve, and the two actions taking place there are expansion and contraction. So, here you can find expansion as well as contraction is taking place on the same demand curve with a change in the price. So, the first three conditions are explained here. Movement along the same demand curve, two actions are expansion and contraction, price is changing, other factors remaining constant. And the two movements are upward and downward movement. That is also clear. Upward movement and downward movement. So, all these things are explained with the diagram. So, once again recollect, movement along the same demand curve. In single demand curve, these two actions are taking place, expansion and contraction. Expansion due to a fall in the price, contraction of demand due to a rise in the price. Price is changing, other factors are remaining constant. Two movements are upward and downward movement. Downward movement and upward movement. This is all about change in quantity demanded. This is very important. Now, change in demand. What is this change in demand? Here, price remains constant. We will start with the third point. For the first one also, I started with the third point. Price remains constant. Let us see. Price is 3. The study reference is point 3. Reference of study is point 3. Price 3. Price is remaining to be constant. Constant price. Quantity demanded are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. People are demanding different quantities. From 1 kilogram, consumer is shifting to 2 kilogram. From 2 kilograms, consumer is shifting to 3 kilograms. From 3 kilograms, consumer is shifting to 4 kilograms. From 4 kilograms, consumer is shifting to 5 kilograms. But the price remains to be constant. Other factors are changing. Taste and preference is changing. His taste for that particular commodity has increased. Therefore, he has increased the consumption of that commodity from 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. He is not at all bothered about the price. Price remains to be constant. Price remains to be constant. He is going on increasing and decreasing according to the change in the taste and preference. Therefore, price remains to be constant. That is done. Now, the next part is shift in the demand curve. Yes, shift in the demand curve is taking place here. See, when this is the initial demand curve. When his taste and preference has increased from 2 to 3, you can find another demand curve. Demand curve is shifting. Price is remaining to be constant, demand curve has shifted to D2, D2. Then again the new demand curve, again the next demand curve has shifted due to increase in the quantity demanded, being the price remaining to be constant. Therefore, you can write shift in the demand curve. Here, the two actions are increase and decrease in the demand, increase and decrease in the demand. Increase in the demand curve is represented as the rightward movement. Arrow mark is here. Now, if the taste and preference is less, he will demand less. That will be represented as a leftward shift. So, the demand curve can move to the right and it can also move to the left depending on the change in the taste and preference. If taste and preference is more, rightward shift. If taste and preference is less, leftward shift. So the two actions here are increase and decrease. Increase is represented by the arrow in this way, decrease by this way. Okay, then comes the next one. The two movements are rightward shift and leftward shift. Just now I told you the two movements are leftward shift and rightward shift. This is the leftward shift and this is the rightward shift. If it is a rightward shift, it is known as increase in demand. If it is a leftward shift, it is known as a decrease in the demand. So these are the basic difference between change in the quantity demanded and change in the demand, and this is very, very, very important from the examination point of view. Don't get confused with change in demand and change in quantity demanded. Normally when the students write for the exam, they will get confused with change in demand and change in quantity demanded. So don't get confused, be very clear with the explanation. Don't write change in demand for change in quantity demanded. So learn the difference properly by looking into the diagram and the table which I have given you. Change in quantity demanded is movement along the demand curve. Movement along the demand curve. Movement along the demand curve. The two actions are contraction and expansion. Price is changing and the two movements are upward movement and downward movement. Here price remains to be constant in change in demand and the two actions are increase and decrease. Price remains to be constant. Taste and preference and other factors will change. Then there is shift, that is rightward shift and leftward shift of a demand curve. That is change in demand. So I hope it is clear to you. Thank you.